This is the Discover Car Countdown to Green as we get ready to go racing.
The area known as Chicagoland has a rich racing tradition that dates back to the late 1800s. Alongside historic Route 66 in Joliet sits the Chicagoland Speedway. NASCAR racing here dates all the way back to 2001. This track has developed a reputation for temptation and terror. Today, the Nextel Cup Series is back, and the only thing fans here in Chicagoland have to say is, holy cow. The road from Daytona to Chicago is about 7,050 miles long, if you follow the same path as the men in the Nextel Cup Series. For a handful of drivers, it has been a rewarding ride. Vigilance has paid off with victory, but winning simply is not enough. Potential and promise for the future are chased and challenged by champions from the past, all seeking a seat in NASCAR's September Stakes Race for the Riches.
I don't want to know.
For 5 months, the young and the unsung have shown they have the car and the courage to compete, while valued veterans have rekindled a flickering light. Now, just 9 races remain to capture a spot in motorsport's elite top 10. It is a desperate drive for a starting spot in NASCAR's most demanding chase. The race for the Nextel Cup Championship has arrived in Chicagoland. Now, it's time to get in the gas. NBC Sports presents the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, live from the Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. More than 75,000 fans will be here today as the season strikes the halfway mark. 16 drivers broke the track record in qualifying, led by this man, 4-time series champion Jeff Gordon. On Friday, Gordon won his 4th straight pole position, and today he chases his 3rd straight win. Hi everybody, welcome to Chicagoland. I'm Bill Weber, and on behalf of our entire NBC Race family, we're really excited to be back. And along with our teammates at TNT, we will take you all the way to the Nextel Cup Championship Series season finale this November in Homestead, Florida. Now, just 9 races from now, only the top 10 drivers in the championship standings and those within 400 points of the leader will be eligible to capture the Cup in NASCAR's new 10-race chase for the championship. The points and the pressure begin to mount. The drivers inside the top 10 racing for position. Those outside the top 10 racing with added purpose. And just like it is every race from February through November, they're all racing for the win. The race to Richmond begins now, and we begin with my pit road partners, starting with Marty Snyder.
Bill, what an incredible spring and early summer for Jimmy Johnson. 9 top 5s in the last 10 races. That is unbelievable, leading the championship chase, and you've kind of in a comfortable position. But why is it important for your team and you guys to finish first after the first 26 races?
I think there's a lot on the line for that. To be the person leading the points at that point in time, there's a lot that goes on in our own heads as a race team to know that we're able to compete for the championship all year long. You may gain a small mental advantage amongst your competitors in the garage, but more importantly, we just want to be fast and we want to be up front all the time. So it's kind of our own pride in there in a lot of ways.
Championship leader by 27 points over the man with Dave Burns.
And that is Dale Earnhardt Jr., second in points, but struggling a little bit by your own admission last week on pit road, and this week with a car that would only qualify 25th. Can you pick it up today and keep pace with Johnson?
Well, I don't know if we'll be able to keep up with those guys. They were real fast all weekend. We never found that kind of speed in our car, but at best, I think we can get a good top 10, maybe a top 5. We work real hard and stay focused all day long. We just been struggling with the car, trying to get the car to handle right in just one way or another, and hopefully we got what we need underneath there to do it right.
All right, he rolls off right next to the man who's standing by with Matt Yoakum.
Dave, Matt Kenseth had a very solid month of May with 3 top 5 finishes. He entered Chicago 5th in points, but his last 5 races, an average finish of 21st. Matty, is this a good place and a good stretch for you to get back on track?
I hope so. Them stats aren't very good the last 5 weeks, that's for sure. So hopefully get everything rolling again and get a good finish here today.
Now, you think we're going to see a two-groove track like we've seen in a lot of places in the past?
I think it was pretty good. Yesterday in the Busch Series race, I thought the track got really wide. A lot of people could make the outside work good for him. Michael made it work good. Some other guys did. We got to use it a little bit. So I think the track is plenty wide. The track is in good shape. Starting so late, hopefully we can beat the weather and get the race over before the thunderstorms get here. But I think we got a halfway decent car, and I think the track's in great shape for a good race today.
8 career wins. Now, all of his wins have come when he started between 17th and 31st. Today, he starts right in the middle of the Kansas zone, 26th. Bill?
Thanks, Matt. Here's a look at the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series standings. The top 2 remain the same. Gordon jumped up to 3rd off the win at Daytona. Stewart moved up 2 spots. Kenseth lost 2, and Elliott Sadler fell 3 positions. These are the guys on the outside looking in. Teammates Kane and Mayfield. McMurray is 151 points out of 10th. Martin and Wallace have both won this year, but like everybody back to Sterling Marlin, they are desperate for points. That's the first lap. Here's what's coming up on the Discover Card Countdown to Green. Just how hard is it to win a Nextel Cup race? We'll ask the guys that know. Freezing the field at the caution flag has received a cold shoulder. Dave discovers how NASCAR is working to improve its scoring process. Wally climbs back behind the wheel. And Benny says it's time to play ball, all for a good cause. All that and Jeff Gordon coming up on the Discover Card Countdown to Green.
The 46th Daytona 500.
At the line by inches is Matt Kenseth scoring the win in the Subway 400.
I was making some noise. I was a working boy. I'm at the top of my voice saying, look at me, mama, I'm making some noise.
Race fans are going wild. Rusty Wallace going back to victory lane at Martinsville.
Here he comes. Some cheers, some boos. Jeff Gordon's going to win the Aaron's 499.
I'm making some noise. I've been a working boy. I'm at the top of my voice saying, look at me, mama, I'm making some noise.
For Mark Martin, his 4th win on the Monster Mile, and he breaks a 73-race winless streak.
I'm making some noise.
The winning men and the winning moments in 2004. More than 70 drivers have started at least one race this season. Only 9 guys have gone to victory lane. Winning a Nextel Cup Series race is tougher than trying to get good seats at Wrigley Field in July when the Cubs are playing anybody. That's because when these drivers walk to their car on a sunny Sunday afternoon, most share the same thought about winning. Because to a true racer, second is a synonym for failure and the frustration that comes with it.
It's one of the only sports that you have one winner and 42 losers every single weekend.
There's things that you're in control of and there's things that you don't have control of, but all of them have to be 100% to win.
Everything has to be perfect. The driver, of course, he's a big part of that. You have to be dead on.
You've really got to surround yourself with the very best people you can possibly find. You can't be content with guys that are just pretty good. You got to have the best.
There are more good teams that you have to beat week to week, and you can't make any mistakes.
There's more things that could go wrong than could go right to help you get to victory lane. If you're off at all, you'll be lucky to stand in victory lane. You have to be on top of everything.
Throughout the sports world, talented teams have had spectacular days and big games, making outstanding plays, only to see certain victory twisted into shocking defeat. In Nextel Cup racing, it can happen in a heartbeat.
Go! Casey Cage! Oh, and Kane's in the wall! The race leader crashes!
I think if you didn't know you were going to win, you luck up win, that's great. Everybody's happy. When you know you're going to win, you know you got a good car to win, you don't, that's when it gets frustrating.
It is something that eats at you when you know that you had a car that was capable of winning, whether you got in a wreck or got bumped and it affected the front end of your car or whatever. It makes it very frustrating.
That's hard to take when you have a car that you've led a lot of laps or led the most laps, or you're leading at the end, and you have a late caution and somebody gambles on tires.
I don't think anybody wants to be near the car when you pull in, because I mean it's so I don't know what you say, not a letdown, but you're so pumped up and you're just pissed off. I mean, you just get out of the car and you're mad, just looking for something.
When you've got the best car and you don't pull off the win, and you let that moment, that opportunity that could be the one and only opportunity for you, you let it slip away, it's very disappointing.
That's the reason all the people show up in the grandstands, because you never know what's going to happen next.
And the tense expectations of success are dramatically tightened by racing's darkest disappointment, being the first loser.
Kane makes a move to the outside at the stripe, but Elliott Sadler wins, and Casey Kane, for the third time this season, will come home in second place.
That's kind of a bummer, because you should be pretty satisfied with a good finish overall, with everything else going on, but you just get disappointed. That's the way it is. You're never satisfied.
There are a lot of times for tremendous celebration to run, when you run second. But the ones that really, really hurt are the ones where, you clearly coulda, shoulda won, but didn't.
Man, that's nothing more heartbreaking and just tear your guts out feeling to have to walk back in the trailer knowing you finished second. And it's good if you've never done that, but if you've done it a couple times over, or if you've won races and you run up front, second is just like anything else. You got to win or nothing.
For the winner, the race ends with the checkered flag, but for the others, the chase goes on and on and on.
How long does it take you to get over?
Probably to the next race. You're all the way up until the gentlemen start your engines the next Sunday. It just eats at you all week.
I remember a time when we led all laps and got a flat tire with 6 laps from the end and finished 33rd. Went from was going to win and finished 33rd, and that was 2.5 years ago, and it's still eating at me. So it's hard to forget them tough losses.
Pretty much on Sundays nights and Monday nights, I'll run the complete race back in my head. We'll usually tape it and watch it and try to figure out mistakes I made or didn't make, or pitch strategy we should have used. But many nights I have spent during the week racing my race car. It seemed like in bed just as hard as I did that Sunday.
When I leave the track on a Sunday night after something bad's happened, or a huge disappointment like Bristol this year when I thought I had it won and Kurt Busch beat me and I finished second, that night is pretty tough. Sunday nights are always pretty tough. But it's amazing what happens when you go to sleep and you wake up the next day. The thoughts and a lot of that stuff leave your head, and the mean thoughts you might have are gone.